Looks like I'm live. Good morning, everybody. I'm the Gulf Coast Granny, and this is my first live. How crazy is that? But what I wanted to talk about today is the heat and my garden and how I'm going to manage all of that. So, something happened today that really took me by surprise. I was in my garden looking at my sweet potatoes that I had planted a few weeks ago, and there happened to be some cantaloupes at the end of that bed. And they're growing down a trellis that I made for them. Well, I looked and there was another vine there. Well, I noticed it a few days ago, but this one had flowers on it. So I'm looking at the flowers trying to figure out what is this thing? Because it looked like another cantaloupe. And sure enough, this is crazy. But when I first planted the cantaloupes, a couple weeks before that, I had planted some butternut squash, but they're the little miniature ones. And came up. So I thought, shoot, I'll just plant something else here. Well, these butternut squash have come up now, 2.5, 3 months later, and they're thriving. So that got me to thinking. Because a few weeks ago, I came on YouTube and I kind of closed out my spring garden because of the heat. And I've always been told that nothing will grow here except for okra and sweet potatoes and maybe cowpeas and a few other little things. So I kind of closed out the garden. I planted my sweet potatoes. I've got okra going. I decided not to plant my zipper peas because they really don't do that well. The germination rate on them is bad. So, so anyhow, I've got some stuff that I'm going to try out. A couple of, 2 days ago, a little longer than 2 days ago. Anyhow, what I did was I got one of my pots that I had pulled my tomatoes out of. And I planted some zucchinis in there because my zucchinis this spring did terrible. Sorry, I had a brain. I was going to say brain fart, but I don't know if I can say that on live or not. But anyhow, I have this empty bucket. So my zucchinis did bad in the spring. The vine borers got them. Well, I put some zucchinis in one of my buckets, my old tomato buckets. I put some patty pan squash in the other. Well, those things came up lickety split. I mean, it's 3 days and I've got little plants this big now. I'm thinking, well, shoot, if they're going to do that and not the heat, what else? So I went through all of my seeds and I've decided that I'm going to plant some Blue Lake pole beans. They might do well, they might not, but we're going to find out. Oh, I got my Sweet Million tomatoes. I've got to start them. I've got like 12 tomato plants started already for the fall garden, but I'm going to do those. I bought these Golden Midget watermelons from Southern Exposure Seeds. I don't even know if you can see that. Is it backwards? I don't know. But that's what it's called, the Golden Midget. Small Wonder Spaghetti Squash. And I'm very excited about this one. This is a Blue Bayou pumpkin. And I know I have plenty of days left in the season to grow this. Even if it takes till the freeze, I have plenty of days. I'm going to try some leeks because I know they take a really long time. So I thought, well, just try and see what happens. And if it's too hot for them, then we'll throw some more in the ground in the fall. And kohlrabi. Now, look, I've been watching a channel on YouTube called The New Orleans Gardener. And I love her channel because she grows almost everything she has in containers. And she lives in zone 9, just like I do. And she's anything in the ground that she wants to. She don't care what season it is. She doesn't care if she wants to eat it. By goodness, she's going to put it in the ground and see if it'll grow. Well, guess what? I've taken some inspiration from the New Orleans Gardener, And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm a very person. And if the rules say you can't plant blah, blah this time, I won't even try it. And I've been like that. I figured these people who write up these packages know what they're talking about. People who have been growing things for a lot longer than I have. And so I've just never bothered. I have tried growing tomatoes in the summertime. And they did terrible. But that's because, I don't know. Am I still live? Yeah. But anyhow, tomatoes in the summertime here do terrible because the flowers drop off when it gets too hot. They can't get pollinated. It's muggy, so the pollen gets all sticky. And if the flower doesn't get pollinated, it drops off. So that's what happens here in the summertime, along with diseases and other things that I'm familiar with tomatoes. And tomatoes have, in the past, been my most favorite thing in the world to grow. So I'm always really on top of tomatoes. This stuff is just to take up space in the garden. But we have decided, me and Poppy, we decided that we're going to expand the garden a little bit. You know what? I left my book over there. Give me a minute to go get it. Okay. So this is what the garden looks like now. And this is my flowers, and these are my 3 middle beds. That's the tomato bed, and that's where I have my sunflowers right there. Well, right now I've got my sweet potatoes over here, and I got sweet potatoes here. I've got okra here. I still have my flowers in here. I've got some peppers here. Well, watch this. So this is the new, whoops, that's the new plan. And we're going to add on here. We're going to add a bed here. And we're going to add, it's all backwards, so I'm confused. Another raised tomato bed over here. Now, I don't know if it's going to be for tomatoes or not. We'll just have to figure it out whenever I get everything built. But, and there's my pool right here. I got a little kiddie pool that's probably about 6 feet across. And I was thinking about planting all my leafy greens in it this winter. So that's 4 new beds. Four new beds. That gives me 10. Down here's my patio, and I grow a lot of stuff there too. So I'm thinking about maybe getting some grow bags and just lining them up on the patio. And then I'll have all kinds of space to grow things. Am I back? Yes, I'm back. Is anybody in here but me? It keeps cutting in and out. I'm sorry, y'all. Well, looks like nobody showed up for my live, so I'm going to call it a day. But I hope like crazy that all of this imagination works, because I have visions of a beautiful summer garden. I don't know if it's going to work out like that or not, but I sure am going to try my best, and I'll keep you guys updated in the process, okay? So we're going to see what happens. Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you again real soon, all right? Yes, and